In life, we've got winners and we've got losers, and it is no different after the 2025 NFL Draft. On today's show, we're going to look back at the draft picks for your Green Bay Packers and talk about who's a winner coming out of it and who's a loser. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching the Packers Report. I'm your host, Joey Peterson. The draft was a ton of fun. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Green Bay, you showed out. You made it absolutely electric, and Brian Gutekunst tried to return the favor. Doing a pretty sweet pick in that first round with Matthew Golden. Then went wide receiver again, Savion Williams, Barron Sorrell, the edge rusher out of Texas. Day 3, after the Sorrell pick, it's a little interesting. Colin Oliver, Warren Brinson, Michael Robinson, and John Williams to round it out right there. But regardless, it was a ton of fun, and we're here to break it down, give you some winners and losers. Before that, though, it is May. And so now it is time, of course, for a brand new sub battle. It is with our Vikings channel. They challenged us, and I need you guys to rise to the occasion. We're starting at 0 subs each, as always. Let's make the first punch. Let's run up the score while we can, get an early lead. I need you guys to help me out. If you hate the Vikings as much as I do, hit that sub button. Let's start with the winners, alrighty? Up first is Mr. Jordan Love. And Jordan Love's a winner for many reasons. And it's mainly because of what they did in the first 3 selections. Matthew Golden, Anthony Belton, Savion Williams. They went weapon, offensive line, weapon. That tells me one thing, right? They didn't believe that Jordan Love was surrounded with the best weapons already. Especially, I believe, with Christian Watson going to start the first few months of the season on the injured list. And so, Matt LaFleur saw the state of this team. They saw the state of this offense. And in the first 3 rounds, picked wide receiver twice. That shows you something. And also, it proves that Jordan Love's a massive winner on this, okay? Because not only does he get himself a wide receiver 1 with Matthew Golden, he also gets himself a very fun option in a wide receiver 2 spot, maybe 3, depending on how Romeo Doubs steps up this year. And Savion Williams, a guy who can be anywhere, do anything. He's big, he's tall, he's fast, he's got it all. Up next, let's stick with the offense. Let's go right next to Jordan Love in the backfield. How about Josh Jacobs? I think he's a massive winner, okay? If you look back at February, he's on Radio Row, Super Bowl 59. This set things on fire. He said, I think we need a guy that's proven to be a number 1 wide receiver already. He's just speaking the truth, okay? Obviously, a lot of people didn't have that great of a reaction about it. I'm pretty sure it was Dontavian Wicks was the guy who actually tweeted about this tweet. And so not only did he get his wish, which was for a number 1 wide receiver, Matthew Golden, but also, if you just look at the offense as a blanket, his job's going to be a whole lot easier. Having 2 other really great offensive weapons in Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. So he got what he wanted, and his job, it's not going to be as hard. It's still going to be difficult, but it's not going to be as hard as it was last year. Green Bay ran the ball 51.2% of the time in 2024. That was the 3rd highest in the National Football League. And they did that because teams were like, you know what? They're not really that big of a threat to pass. And they weren't. So they just kind of had to run the ball. That's going to be a little bit different, okay? I can promise you that. Name him for me in the comment section. Who's Green Bay's biggest winner from the 2025 NFL Draft? Is it a name I've already said? Might be a name I'm about to say. Regardless, you let me know your answer in the comment section down below. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball now. Lukas Van Ness, the edge rusher out of Iowa. And I think that there was a really common thought that Green Bay would go edge at pick number 23. And if they wouldn't have gone edge at pick number 23, I would have bet a lot of money that they would have gone edge in the first 3 rounds of the draft. And they did not. They went offense with all 3 first selections. And so I think that proves 2 things. Number 1, they're probably a little more confident in Lukas Van Ness than the average common fan is. And number 2, they just didn't necessarily feel the need that we felt. And as the board was falling to them, they thought it was better to get offensive talent at that point. And they still got a really good selection in round 4 with Barron Sorrell. He's a solid run defender. He's got great hands. He's got a really high motor. There's a ton of things to love about him. You got a really good edge defender in the 4th round. But again, Lukas Van Ness is a winner because they didn't feel the need to address it and possibly reach for a prospect in any of the first 3 rounds. They let the board come to them. They pick their best players available. And Lukas Van Ness, he's kind of a winner because of it. Let's talk Marshon Lloyd, okay? Second running back on this list. Plain and simple, when you look at this draft, there was a lot of running back talent, okay? Maybe not a ton at the top. It was Ashton Genty, and then a little bit of a gap, and then Marion Hampton, and then a little bit of a gap, and then both the Ohio State backs, and then a big gap, but then there was like 7 guys right there, right? Your Cam Scadaboos, your Taj Brookses, all of those guys. There was a lot of really sleeper running back targets that they could have selected. You look at how they rank on the Chat Sports big boards, and there's a lot of really good guys, anywhere from 130 to like 200, 220. But Green Bay did not feel the need to select any of those guys. So because of that, Marshon Lloyd's a winner. Because he probably is almost guaranteed a roster spot, unless Amar Johnson, the undrafted free agent out of San Diego, or it's not San Diego, South Dakota State. Very different, very big difference in those 2 places. If he can stay healthy this year, this is going to be massive for him. Absolutely massive. I'm really, really hopeful that he can stay healthy. Let's talk Keisean Nixon in this one with defense out of the cornerback room. And cornerback was a position we talked a ton about going into this draft. Okay? Thought they were going to select it pretty early. Kind of like we did with edge rusher. We thought if it wasn't going to be at the first pick of the draft, it was going to be somewhere in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds. They waited until round number 7. Their 7th selection of the day on a cornerback that wasn't on a lot of people's big boards, mine included, Mel Kiper, right? And so Keisean Nixon is a winner because of this, because A, he's probably not going to have the same amount of competition that we thought he would, and B, they didn't feel the need to go replace him. Maybe not replace him, but they didn't feel the need to go and say, let's draft someone who's close to you and you guys battle it out. They basically said, you know what, we've got all the faith in the world in you this next year. Coming up, we got to talk losers now. I know it's fun to talk winners. Unfortunately, there's another side to this coin that is the losers. We'll talk about them in just a second. Before that, I want to know, okay? You guys let me know. If you were at the draft in Green Bay, like the video, okay? I want you guys to cast your votes that way. If you were there for the spectacle that it was, over 600,000 people in attendance, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button and liking today's video. Let's start with the losers. I got 4 for you. Rasheed Walker, the offensive tackle, left tackle to be exact. And we knew once Anthony Belton was a selection in the 2nd round, offensive tackle out of NC State, that Rasheed Walker was probably on his last leg with the Green Bay Packers. Okay, I think that this was Goody telling Walker, you know what? Unless you absolutely blow my mind and you have a year where you're the best tackle in football, this is the end to your journey as a Packer. You will most likely be allowed to walk in free agency after the 2025 season, okay? Anthony Belton, I've got a lot of high hopes for him. Probably wouldn't have been my selection with the 2nd round. That's well documented by now. But still, I think that's their plan, is have him sit a year and then replace Rasheed Walker after this next season. I got a couple losers for you. We're going to bunch these 2 together, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Why are they losers, you ask? We've talked about it already. You pick 2 wide receivers, not in the entire draft, in the first 3 rounds. If that tells you anything, it should tell you that Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur don't necessarily have the highest hopes for this wide receiver room, how it was constructed prior to the draft. And if you look at Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, both of those contracts are up after this season. They will be free agents going into 2026. And my prediction for that, how that's going to go, is one of them is going to get re-signed. I don't think it's both. I don't think it's neither. I think it's going to be one of them. So because of that, it's going to be a very interesting year. If you had to pick one out of those 2, who gets re-signed? Is it Christian Watson? Is it Romeo Doubs? You let me know your answer in the comment section down below. Let's go to the last loser of the day. It's Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for your Green Bay Packers, not a player. And they went offense a lot in this draft. They ended up with a lot of defense, right? They went a 4-round straight kind of run from the 4th round to the early in the 7th on defensive players. But they didn't address it in any of the first 3 rounds, and I thought that they probably should have. And sure, Hafley got some good players in the draft. But nobody that's like jaw-droppingly athletic that has an unbelievably high ceiling. They didn't get a Mike Green type, a chess piece that a guy who's a defensive coordinator can have a ton of fun with. They didn't get a Michael Williams. They didn't get a Jahdae Barron. They didn't get a Trey Amos. They didn't get any of those players that a lot of people are really excited about. And there's a reason. I'm not ridiculing them. They knew more about their draft board than I did, okay? Bar none. There's not a debate on that. But still, I think Jeff Hafley was even going into this draft expecting to get a couple of more players, a couple of more chess pieces in his defense in year 1, like this next year, than he actually did. Make sure that you guys subscribe to today's channel, I guess after today's video, to the channel. It was a fun one. Love talking about the draft. Love talking winners and losers. We're going to be breaking down the Packers all off season long, so make sure you join us right now by hitting that sub button.